Alright, okay, so hello everybody. Welcome to the Selfisinfinite podcast. It's your host Jameer Chapman, and I appreciate y'all tuning in today. I believe this is episode number five. Number five? Yeah, I think it's number five. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't have no episode for y'all last week. Trying to get more consistent with it. I wanted to be every Sunday, but got a lot going on in my life. I'm a busy guy. And it's only 24 hours in a day, so I made it here today. While I had some time this week. I've been really busy the past couple of weeks. I've been doing a lot of markets lately. That's been picking up. The other day I did Little 5 Points Festival, and before that I did some other markets, and then like the next day I had a market as well. But Little 5 Points Festival. It was my first time ever going to Little 5 Points Festival. It's my first time doing a festival like that big before. I've done a couple other ones in the city as well too, but that one was like just really big and really cool. A lot like really good energy. Feel like mixture of people just all around, like different, you know. Like just it was just really cool. A lot of people came up to me just expressing how much fun they had, everybody drinking, just have a good day time, just just enjoying themselves. It was really cool. I was busy all day in my booth from 12 to 8 o'clock. Like, I didn't have the chance to go look at no clothes, no jewelry, no other food, no food for myself. I was hungry all day. I didn't have no gas, no drink, nothing. I was just working, straight working. But it was really cool. I really enjoyed myself, and it was just like the love that we got the other day was just really good. We felt really good. And we made a lot of money too, and that's always good. So, yeah, shout out to Little 5 Points Festival. Shout out to Market Hugs for throwing that amazing event. And next day I had an event Reclaim ATL, and that went pretty cool too. And this week I got an event at Georgia State. We were back Broad Street Thursday. So, the markets, man, getting back consistent with the markets for real. I feel like I've been just like my third year doing like getting into like reselling, I want to say, or second year. And it wasn't even, I really even trying to get into reselling. I really was selling jewelry. I wanted to sell jewelry. That was what I was first selling. I started off selling. At the time I was thrifting real heavy, and it was like the time too, it was like I didn't have much money, but at the same time it was like shit. If there's still alive, I was like, I want that. Like, I need it. Like, so like some stuff, and also like some stuff I couldn't fit was like somebody could wear this, and especially in the time, like I had a job, but like I needed something else. Like I've been trying to search for some other type of like side hustle or something to do. I'm like, okay, well this makes sense. Let me try it. And my first market, I had like just some jewelry I made out because I learned how to make jewelry when I went to college in Kansas. So like I kind of kept that with me because I always wanted to do that when I came back home. So I got into reselling, and my first market, like I went to a market at Georgia State, and I was talking to the dude. I was like, "How long you been doing this?" And he was like, talking to me. He was like, "Bro, you need to come out here, brother. Like, you need to come out here. Like, basically, like, just tell me you need to come out here, bro." I was like, "Oh shit, like, that's a sign. Like, I try to pay attention to, good omens and shit like that." So I was like, "Fuck, let me try it and take a leap of faith." Cause I like taking risks. I think it's important to take risks. If you can't take risks, you ain't living. That's just me though. But I took the risk. I did my first market, and I made more money in one day than I ever had before, like in a day period, like in the span of a couple hours. And I was like, well, this makes sense, and it's something I enjoy doing. But also, like the other aspect outside of that, it was the community aspect. It was like it was really cool to just like that's really what I more so wanted to. Damn, hold on, I want to kind of. Sorry, I gotta get right. Boom, that's better. Okay. Yeah, more so what I wanted from yeah, okay. Sorry. Yeah, cool. Alright. More so what I wanted from doing the markets was like the community aspect. Like I want to be immersed in some type of community, like with something to offer, like to the table, but also like around other people that were cool. Cause I always went to like markets and shit like that. And I thought that shit was so cool. Like people just making their own shit, and like kind of just that community aspect, coming to the market and just being able to come and be able to find like cool shit cause that you don't see every day in the mall. Like that's not just an arm and a leg as well too. But also like people have man made like small businesses as well too. So. Um, I thought it was just really cool, and I got the time to do it. And I just jumped into it, and it's like 2 years strong. I've been doing it ever since. And I like the community that I've grown, the networking aspect, like the many people that I have met from just doing these markets. Like that's what's the most I've gotten outside of just making a little side hustle money, whatever. But the people that I've met over time, the relationships that I've built over time, is really what has been the key takeaway or the key reason for me to continue doing these markets. Um, or just being or just doing what I do, reselling. Guards Archival. I kind of the reason I called it Guards Archival is kind of looked at it like an archive of just God's work, like everything, all these pieces, all these clothes, are like or somebody's artwork. Creativity as a whole, and I feel like God has a touch on all of that. Somebody had that idea that was installed with them, but that's like kind of like that godly innate, like creative power. And I think God is creativity. I think God is art, and I think like just all this art in this archive and archiving is all this is God's work. And that's kind of like what I kind of looked at it as, just archiving God's work. And that's where I got the name like God's Archival from. And I feel like that's kind of like it's just kind of cool to. I'm a collector now. I'm like my grandfather. That nigga he got like grandfather got like a whole bunch of stuff he just set aside for so much time. And I think I'm kind of into like collecting physical like media. At this point, I'm getting into collecting vinyl. I'm getting into collecting like VHS tapes now. I've been selling those lately. Collecting like zine signs, like fashion magazines. Like I like that stuff, and I want to get more into that stuff because like I feel like for one, with social media and digital aspect, this shit is like a headache. I'm always on the computer all the time because I'm in college right now, and I have been for the last couple of years. So it's like I spend so much time inside of like a laptop, and I feel like more so with like a fashion editorial, like a magazine, like my last episode, AJ was saying, like, like you get so much more from an editorial, you get inspiration from something that's so much more like natural and catered to what you actually like, as you explore yourself, as you do the things like that, rather than just going on social media and scrolling through like, your favorite got people on Instagram or like Pinterest. Pinterest is cool, but at the same time, like I don't know, just finding like physical media, like maybe going to the thrift store, finding some random magazines, cutting them up, and I don't know, doing whatever. Like I don't know, I think just like physical media is kind of coming back, and I feel like it's important to get more so like intertwined and more so get back into it for real, for real. Yeah, and like that community aspect of it, just all just like with doing markets. Like I remember I was in Argentina. Um, I went to this market. It's called the San Telmo Antique Market, and it's like one of the biggest markets in the world. The market ranged from at least like I don't know how many blocks or like how to. But think of an example. We'll just say that the market was like a strip that was like I don't want to even say 5 mile. I want to say like a 10-mile strip of just markets on the sidewalk, like just everybody set up selling something, and along with shops on along the way as well too. And they do it I think they do it like every Friday, or they do it one day out the week every week, every month of the year, I believe. So that's how I remember it. And that market was like the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life, because just for one, just the coolest shit that I found there. Just all the vintage, all the collective shit, just like little trinkets and shit like that. I think it's really cool, but also it's like a little scavenger, like that. Just part of like curiosity in me, like that. It's like somebody been on an adventure. Like how did you find it? How you come about that? And just like the little synchronicities, like they kind of come within it as well too. Like with the shit I find, but also like in the like I don't know, it's like how did somebody find that, put their hands on that, and like also just like I don't know, the whole coolness of it. It's just really cool. But I had ran into somebody, ran into this guy that he was making, he had a booth, and he was making he was airbrushing on like on shirts, upcycling little pieces, upcycling pieces and sewing as well too. And it was just like really cool as fuck, because it was like, damn, this is what I do back home. And just seeing you doing over here, it was just so cool. And like it was just like the enthusiasm behind it. It was like, this is my life, bro. Like this is what I do. It was just like, damn, like, it just really like struck me for real. And like, damn, this is like beautiful artwork. Like this is beautiful, and it's like also at the same time, it's just like his only source of income. Like throughout my time exploring, or sorry, going to different, door fucking explorer. Throughout my time traveling, I've noticed like it's like for work is not easy to find, just like it isn't easy to find in America as well too. A lot of people have to only one avenue, or have to tap into something like that, create, or have to get really creative just to make a living every day. And it kind of just struck me like, damn, like this is his life for real. Like this is his only way. Like maybe he did have a job or something like that, but like this is really what he wants to do. This is like really what he wants to share. This is like his life, you know. And it's just kind of cool to like see that across the world, like that parallel, you know, that comparison. You know, like damn, I'm doing this over here and doing this over here. Like I gotta keep going. You know, I want to be able to do it right across the world. You know, like maybe it's basically it was like a omen. It's like a good omen right there. He's saying good omen because I've been reading that Full Alchemist. I think it's The Alchemist. I've been reading The Alchemist again, and kind of keep talking about good omens and whatnot. But I kind of just looked at it as a good omen. Like I'm doing something right. You know, like this is something that is like this is it. And I also met like another guy. He was taking pictures of he was a photographer for the news outlet in Argentina. In Argentina, there's a lot of protests that have been happening with the new the president Peron, not Peron, sorry, forget his name, but there's a new president there, and he's trying to make the economy better, but he's really fucking up a lot of shit, like a lot of rights have been taken from people, a lot of like equal opportunities, like a lot of money has been going to the rich and not to the people that actually need opportunity, that need resources, and the resources have been very limited. Also, like taking like they're basically like just trying to also hide like a lot of the past as well too from the country. But anyways, we'll get into that later. The guy was just a photographer, and he just had all these strong, intimate like images of like these protests, you know, and it was just really cool. And like me and the girl I was with, like we came up to him, we was like, wow, like oh my gosh, like damn, like this is beautiful artwork, like this shit beautiful for real. Like we were just being real enthusiastic and really emphasizing how beautiful this shit was because it really touched us for real. Just seeing all the artwork because we were down there for the learning about like the dictatorship that happened, like the protests and whatnot. So it was like hitting us and like just see like these people still protesting to this day and like just seeing like the people really fighting, like just the fight, you know, like damn, like also like there's like one picture particularly, like it was a group of like black people, like Africans like together, and they were a guerrilla group that he caught that was like protesting one day, and it really touched us because it was me and the girl because there's like no black people in Argentina, like it was like a few, you know, on the streets selling, like trying to sell stuff, you know, they little trinkets or like little belts or shit like that. But there was it's scarce, and it's like we're all have all the black people going, and we asked the guy, he's like they all left, and it's like, damn, like you caught them, so it's like my people are here, you know, like people are here somewhere, and it just kind of made me feel, made us feel kind of good in a sense though to know like our people are here, you know, although with all around we don't see, our people are everywhere, you know, and it's like damn, and he just like broke down crying, and we ended up like, you know, hugging and like, you know, getting his information and whatnot. But it was just like he felt really good. Like it felt good to him for to feel like he's doing something right. Like his artwork is like something, you know, and that connection right there is like all while I do what I do within this shit, because it's like to acknowledge, just feeling acknowledged as a whole, and being able to feel acknowledged from just the clothing, like to feel like oh, this is really nice, you know, like instead of having to pay $1 billion for this, I can go pay $10 for something and feel like something, you know, like feel like I'm worth it to a good degree. And I feel like that's the whole point, like doing these like community markets, just like the community aspect, like the sharing my artwork aspect, the like sharing your work, you know, within your community. That's what it's about. People need to see that, you know, people are moved by the work. You know, people want your shit, you know. That's why I think it's so important, like share your work, you know. It's really important, like to capture, you know, like especially like with like photography, like the guy captured those images, you know. If he wouldn't have captured that, a lot of like people, photographers like that, you know, those moments wouldn't be like, you wouldn't be able to really encapsulate what somebody is just telling you. Just how like people talk about slavery, but until you go to like the National African American Museum, you don't really get moved the way you would by just somebody telling you about the way something was, but seeing something is really different. And that just makes me want to kind of talk about my whole experience in Argentina. This past summer, I went to Argentina on a study abroad trip. It was human rights in Argentina, learning about the dictatorship and to democracy that happened from 1976 to 1983, I believe. Within Argentina, back in 1976. I want to say, let's go like a little bit of time before there was a president, Perón, and he was like the greatest guy of all, like greatest guy today. Everybody loved Perón, and his wife. They did a lot for the community, for the country, and fast forward, there was like a lot of people against Perón though for what he was doing, and like fast forward some time, the military came in and they formed a dictatorship. I forgot a lot, like the real indiscreet details of what happened, but basically, can't remember if Perón was assassinated or killed, or I want to say he was killed. And then his wife, I don't think it was the wife that everybody glorifies, but I think he had another wife. She kind of bring everything to shit, basically, and was kind of working with the military, I believe, or something in that degree. And then the military dictatorship came in. So during this time, the military dictatorship came in. There was protests, there was guerrilla groups going against the military dictatorship. A lot of the rights weren't like being given to the citizens. Basically, like a cleansing of the country was going on. They were trying to purify it. Basically, it was a joint mission with America and Argentina and like the whole South, to kind of just cleanse the land of, really, I want to say, minorities and like poverty and just people against the government. So it was called the Dirty War, and this was when like Isabel Perón was overthrown by military dictatorship, and like journalists, activists, like protesters, like they were all like kid. So see, we'll get there. So yeah, the period of time was like the government targeted anybody they thought was a threat to the military dictatorship, the military coup that was happening. So these people were disappearing off the streets, but in real life they were being taken to jail for conspiracy. But like these people were taken out of their homes, like kick down door, come take you out of your fucking room, no sign of trace of you, just take you to this jail, and you disappeared. But they're not going to tell you taking you to the jail. So these people were in these concentration camps that were disguised as these police stations, basically. And so the police would be in these discreet vehicles, these undercover vehicles, these Ford Falcons. And if you've seen the Ford Falcon, you kind of knew, like, oh shit, like, you knew what time it was. Basically, you get taken in the Ford Falcon. You be blindfolded all the way until you get to the police station. You would be blindfolded all the way until you get into your space, and you'd be blindfolded most of the time. They would gas you, they would beat you, they would do all these terrible things to you as well, to try to get information out of these people, as if they had something to share. But yeah, and these people were treated very harshly in these inhumane conditions. And me and my cohort, we went to these different concentration camps and these different sites, and we got to be inside of these buildings and just get to kind of witness and see how the space was, and kind of just what people went through, and just these stories just kind of replaying in your mind as you're in the space. And like even just like like a spot like with just a room that's like, dried up blood still on it, things like that. It's like, damn, like it just really puts you on. I was like, fuck. And then like they were even taking these people and driving over the sea and dropping their bodies in the water. One of our members that was there with us, he was actually kidnapped. He was one of the people that were kidnapped, and he shared his experience. He was blindfolded, and they were questioning him, and I think they want to say they killed his roommate or something like that. And yeah, just like these harsh things. It was really crazy. They would take these people and dump their bodies in the ocean. They would take the people and dig them and bury them alive, and the resistance aspect of it. And so these mothers were. Everybody started coming together and like asking where are their children, where are my kids, why are they disappeared? And this group of mothers came together called the Mothers of Plaza de Mayo, and they would wear these white bandanas over their head, and then some of these like bandanas were made out of their children, like clothes, diapers, like. Well, they would wear them like a symbol, just that they want their children back, and they would come to the plaza. I think it's called Plaza de Mayo, but they would come to Plaza de Mayo, and they would protest every week They still protest to this day. We actually got to walk with them in the protests, and there's still millions, or I don't want to say millions, but hundreds of thousands of people that are still missing to this day, and mothers that still have not gotten that closure. And it just really like, I'll come back to Argentina, but like just fast forward 2 weeks later, I come 3 weeks later, I come home, and I'm seeing on the internet that ICE agents are kicking down doors and taking people out of their homes. I'm seeing that people are being just snatched off the streets and placed in concentration camps. I'm seeing more recently information of people being raped inside these concentration camps. Or they're these fucking prisons. They're concentration camps. And it's just kind of crazy to like go from this trip over here to come back home like, damn, this is happening in my country now. Something that happened 20 years later. And it's like, damn, when is this shit kind of going to stop? And it made me kind of just go into the history of Argentina as well, too. Because within my time there, within my time in Argentina, it felt like there was no real culture because there's a lot of European and Spanish and Italian influence. So there's like a lot of Italian restaurants. There's a lot of American restaurants, a lot of McDonald's and things of that nature. And there's like this Spanish influence. You got the gauchos, you got these estancias, and this is all from the Spanish that came over from Europe. And this is the side that they kind of controlled and took over. And it kind of just made me kind of go back and further and further because like, where is these people's culture? And it's like they kind of just embraced the culture that was left upon them, this Eurocentric kind of ideology that has been the forefront of the country. And it's like they try to mimic their country similar to Europe, and similar to Germany. Like they just have that, even like the mausoleums for the beauty aspect, and just like it's just like there's no real authenticity. It feels like, but at the same time, it's like that's them making it authentic. Like this is our home, and it's like if you are born into that, it's like how. If this is what I'm born into, this is what the culture is. It's like, how do I see outside of that? It's like if I see this black guy, and it's like I just see these black guys, from time to time. It's like, and my mom tells me that they're these negritos. That's what I will see the world as. So around time in Argentina, I got called a negrito by this guy, this gaucho at this estancia, at this farm, and he was like, "Hey, he was in like a little darker shade of skin." But it's like, you mean negrito? We say that here. And it's like, damn. And it kind of had a right shot. But it's like, damn. The influence, like, behind that, like, he has no understanding that. He has an understanding, but it's like he sees himself as a Negro, so he thinks just because he's a Negro that I'm a Negro, but he has no recollection or no understanding of my perspective on being of a slavery and years of that oppression and being actually African American, being called the N word. He doesn't understand that sound, how that feels to me. Like in the culture in Argentina, a lot of people use negrito just to differentiate skin, but at the same time, there's that Eurocentric European influence that still is behind all of that. For somebody to look at themselves as I am the negrito. And then I was trying to talk to one of our advisors there and trying to just explain to him, like, what happened. He was just like, he doesn't understand, he just doesn't understand. It's like, if you can understand, though, when you're from here, why can't he understand? Because he's a negrito, and I think it's like, at points like that, we need to educate one another. We need to stop embracing European influence. We need to stop acting like this shit is our shit, because it's not our shit. We're not fucking European. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Sorry, y'all, I'm all over the place. It's like I got a lot of thoughts and what's swirling. But yeah, it's like, my whole experience there just feel like it was like just under European fucking domination. Like, it's just like, goddamn, I can feel the European influence all the way over fucking here. I thought I left America. And it's like, damn, like, I don't know, it just kind of made me start thinking like real deeply. Like it's before it's kind of just embraced me to kind of want to start like being more active in my own community, you know, and start trying to being a part of change to some degree in my own community, you know, try to be some part of like doing something positive because like there's so much wrongdoing, there's so much bullshit going on. And it's like, instead of just feeling bad about it, why not be a part of the change? Why not be a part of the, I don't know, changing, you know, the atmosphere, you know, making the world better, you know. If I can do it, why not be a part of that, you know, just in the little ways I can do it because it starts in the little ways. And like I said before, we start at the biggest scale. You know, I can't fucking change. Oh, shit. Yeah, it starts at a bigger scale. And it's, I can't change people like physically. I can't make anybody believe anything, but I can just express my mind and share my beliefs and try to hope for the better. You know, maybe somebody can, I don't know, be open-minded enough to take in what I have to say. But and it's like we got these Eurocentric thought ways and thought paths, and it's kind of like how do we get away from that? You know, and it's like it makes me think about like go back to Argentina, like my first experience, like let's go back to Argentina a little bit. First got there, we spent 1 week in Cordoba, and the second week in uh, Buenos Aires. I want to say the first week and a half in Cordoba, and the second week in Buenos Aires, and then I think yeah, that's the two spots we stayed at. And I'm not gonna lie, my experience in Cordoba felt like a zombie town. Like I'm not gonna lie, like it was a little weird. Like at first, it was just like everything was like kind of dead. Like everybody just want to work. Like everybody just kind of, I don't know. It was like a weird experience, and like kind of conversing with the other peers. Like over time, we all felt the same way. And I don't know. I gotta go back to kind of feel it again. But it was just like it was kind of real cloudy the whole time. It was like everybody kind of looked the same, and like they were kind of trying to explain that there was no difference in like but I was asking one time at the table like how do y'all differentiate race because they say they don't differentiate race by color but more so by the class the clothes that you wear. And my professor looked at me and was like, I don't know how fucking true that is. I was like, that was some bullshit. And you can kind of just see like everywhere it's kind of like the darker shade you are, the poorer you're treated or the poor conditions you have. And I can just kind of see that same difference there, you know. And a lot of the area we were was like the darker, shadier side, you know. They crossed that red line, you know. But when you get to Buenos Aires, you kind of can just see that shift and that difference. More vibrant, but also more Eurocentric, more of the influence, you know, right in your face. Like when we went to Austin Liam and Letty was just kind of there on a tour. She was just skipping over like, yeah, I mean, they used to have slaves right here in this place, you know, and they worked. And there used to be slaves working for the, you know, the castle. They treated them, yeah, gave them a room and, you know, and as if they gave them all these good things, you know, and these fair treatment as if they weren't slaves, you know, and things of that nature. And even like at one point we got to the mausoleum, she's like, yeah, and this place used to be a vegetable garden for the monks, and they're I was like, there's no way, and that kind of just totally turned me off, and the whole time it just put me in the perspective of kind of really seeing the behind the touristic kind of gaze. Yeah, just kind of put me in the perspective of just like what's really going on behind the scenes. Like, let me see what is really what's going on with this culture. Like, how has this country really formed? Like, what's tea? Like, what's really going on though? Like, what's the culture? Like, how did this culture come about? Like, how did this place come about? How did the European influence come about into the making of this place? How much of the European influence is prominent within everything that I'm seeing, and how so? How did it really come about? Because I see it everywhere, but like how? So like that's the real question. And also like so also with Argentina, they have tried to like take the race of black like out of there being a race category, and there's a woman named her name is Maria Eugenia Ramos, I think. It kind of just brings me back to like just like even like us as black people, like us having a Eurocentric like ideology, you know, like I want this biggest mansion, I want all this money, let's go smoke a cigar, me and the boys, gonna drive my big ass fucking, I don't know, but we want all this shit we want when we already have the things we need. You know, we're still everything we needed when we were born. At the same time, we have food, shelter, water. That's all the fuck that we need. And like even just disrespecting women, thinking that we need to be dominant. We need to be. I'm sorry, not to be dominant, but like we can't be feminine, or that we have to be like aggressive, or we gotta be a man. Like what the fuck does it mean to be a man? And that's really like a real question I have for a lot of people. Like what does it really mean to be a man? Is it this Eurocentric like ideology that you think it's supposed to be? Like the man needs to be the breadwinner. The man needs to do this. Like the man needs to. Instead of how about you take a little bit of pressure? Let's take a little bit of pressure off ourselves. Give ourselves a little love, a little grace, and also acknowledge that we do have another side to ourselves. That we're not just this fucking dog, you know. And that's what I think a lot of women kind of hate, or a lot of people just hate. But then like white people are just like this men, you know, it's just this dog mentality, you know, just like this fucking carnivorous fucking bullshit that people put from their fucking ego. And I think it's like okay to have that balance, you know. It's okay to have this little calm, and I guess you could say or feminine side and the masculine side, because we both have those sides, you know. We're human, and that's just what it is. It's okay. And I think more so being a man is more so just stepping up in your own beliefs and believing and stepping into who you are. More so being strong in who you are, and not letting and oh, it's all camera stuff, but like respecting the world around you. You know, like stepping up for your community. You know, stepping up for your family. You know, being there for yourself, but also like for those around you, and not running away from yourself. And I think having the courage to step into who you want to be, I think that's being a real man. I think yeah, we do have to pay bills. Yeah, we should pay bills. I guess whatever. I don't know whoever says that. We should be the breadwinner. We should be the giver, the care. But I don't know what people think like men should be for real. And I think it's really subjective based upon like whatever culture, because it's different everywhere. But at the end of the day, with your free will and kind of the way that I have, it's like just be whoever the fuck you want to be. Like, you know, don't limit yourself to just like this Eurocentric ideology of what it means to be a man, and more so just be who you are. You know, yes, you are a man. You better act like a fucking man, but be who you are though, instead of just chasing what you think it's supposed to be like. You know, it's kind of like trying to design something and you just go copy what somebody else says. This is what it's supposed to be. You know, it's not how like life works. I don't think that's how like becoming a man works. You know. Sometimes some people got some bitch ass daddies. Some people got some daddies that ain't doing shit for them. Some people got some daddies that weren't there to provide the example of what it means to be a man. So a lot of people have to come to terms and figure out what it means to be a man for themselves. You know, and I think the most like, and I've already kind of explained what I think it is to be a man, but like yeah, just stepping up for yourself and stepping up for your beliefs and doing something for yourself. You know, not just working behind somebody. Like stepping up for yourself and building something yourself. You know, like tapping into the God like power within you. You know, and embracing that divine masculinity that you have. You know, that power that you have. You know, and stepping your foot forward. You know, letting your weight and your energy be felt in these rooms, and really articulating, really expressing, and really amplifying your voice and moving communities and making change. I think that's like the coolest fucking man you could be, rather than just eating meat, drinking, and being married, because that's what the fuck a lot of y'all fucking doing. Eating, drinking, and being married. That's it. Or just working 9 to 5. That ain't being a man. It's like just being a part of the system. I think that's what we need to get out of. Working our way out the system and working our way out of this Eurocentric ideology, because like we're so caught in it, and it's so easy because it's in our face every day. Just like in Argentina, like I'm gonna forget like another experience I had. Like I was there. It's like right, this kid's like you trapper. I was like, what? Trapper? My fit was regular. It was just regular, but like just because I'm black, I guess I had like a little chain on. I guess I could look like a little rapper, I guess, or trapper, I guess. But it's like the whole ideology from just like people rapping and having an image. It's kind of just like they gotta step out of like the box, you know. Like there's more to it than just that what you see. You know, there's more to it than just what's thrown in your face. You know, like he's going off of like he probably went off of, like all these rappers he sees online and all these images he sees online, but he's probably hasn't seen any other black people in his life before, and that probably is the only ideology he has before in his life. If that's the only thing that you see, that's all you know, and I can't be offended by that, but I can be very upset by Eurocentric influence and how that has portrayed African American individuals and how it's portrayed the diaspora as a whole, how we're looked at as these savages when white people have been savage committing savagery and raping and killing and massacring their whole fucking existence, you know. So let's get off white people right now. Yeah, all that fucking carnivores fucking meat y'all fucking guzzling down. I mean, cut that meat out and give your body a little cup of vegetables, you know. Actually, I've been. Let's get into that a little bit too. Like veganism, being vegetarian. So I've been vegetarian for about 4 or 5 years. I'm sorry, let me tell y'all already. I've been vegetarian for 5 years now. I started in 2021 when I started my locks too. And what made me start was like really I was going through like some spiritual transformations. And I was like starting to listen to my body more. Like I was just kind of starting to get more like conscious, I guess, about the word around me. Period, about what I was putting into my body. Just more conscious as a whole. And I decided to I started cutting out chicken. I started just eating just fish and like got some like a badass shrimp feeder or something. That was it for me. Ever since then, I just like started becoming a vegetarian. I became a vegetarian, and I feel like it has benefited my life as a whole. Just like as from a larger scale of just me kind of being more conscious in my decisions and just kind of more mindful of my life. Period. That was like the first conscious decision I feel like I made for myself, and the best decision I could have made for myself because I feel like I was just eating shit. Like I was eating like Wendy's for fours like every fucking day, like killing my fucking self. And I feel like me that shift kind of just the what like cooking my own food and eating, looking at ingredients and kind of just be more conscious of what's going on. You know, you can just it's easy to just go to Wendy's get it for four, but it takes time to actually cook your food and season it and look at ingredients and see and cook recipes and see what you actually want and seeing what your body actually needs. So I was finally took me some time. Like I finally became able to listen to my body. My body was like really like was literally like rejecting the meat, so I couldn't do no more. And 5 years later, I've been still vegetarian to this day. Has it been hard? I won't say it's been hard. Like I feel like it only gets hard like when I'm in another country and there's not like really that many options in certain places because I've been with certain groups and I can't just go off on my own. But I feel like it's like my decision, so it's not really like hard. I don't want to eat meat. I don't crave it. I don't desire it. I mean, sometimes I may be like, oh, that looks good. That smells good, but I don't want that dead energy in my body. And it's kind of like how I look at it now. Like it's like a dead animal, my body, and my body does not want to process dead energy. I just want life. I just want to feed myself life. And like, it's kind of how like, I kind of was looking at it for a large amount of time. And it's like I can get, people talk about protein and can get big without it, and I'm kind of gained weight with it. Without me, I get my protein as well: quinoa, pinto bean, all beans, hemp seeds, protein shakes. Like just the combination of meals together, chickpeas, chia seeds. Like there's ways to get protein. Being a vegetarian, so like it's worked for me, and it's more so just like I just connect me more with nature as a whole, kind of just connect me more with my body as a whole, just connect me with my God more as a whole. Like I don't know, just like just transfer, just that switch. Maybe it didn't have to be just because I went vegetarian, but just like just that making that conscious choice over my life for the first time, just kind of transfer my whole life, kind of like a 360, and kind of has led me to the holistic way I try to live now. Um, so yeah, I do like take my own herbs and shit. I think it's important to take like your own herbs. I think it's important to really like see what your body needs. Like some people do blood type diets, some people go off of just like intuition, some people go off of like keto, some people do like 74 hard and shit like that. Like do what you need for yourself and your own goal, but also just like listen to your body, listen to a lot of people don't have that ability. But I feel like the more you listen, you gotta wait for the answer. I think God or the universe always kind of just lays out the path or lays out the answers for you. And like, there's good omens for you to follow. Like I've been reading Alchemist a lot lately, and I think it's just important to kind of listen, to the and remember what you asked for, and the opportunities or the amounts, the bridges that kind of or the blockades that come before you get to that point. So yeah, so I encourage y'all to just try it. Just try like a little. Never mind, y'all ain't gonna try it. I don't really care what the fuck y'all do. I just don't try it. That's just me. That's my lifestyle. I like to be holistic. I like to be healthy. You can be healthy without the meat. You don't need the meat. I mean, you can be healthy with the meat. I know, but I don't want it. Y'all can keep the meat. But yeah, I've been take a little break real quick, a little second, a little pause. But yeah, also after my trip to Argentina, I got to go to Uruguay. That's how they pronounce it. But I was like I decided to take a trip because I just wanted to like somebody was taking a trip and it kind of inspired me like fuck it, like I want to take a trip too, like for a little weekend excursion. I do my first little solo trip alone because also it's cheaper to travel within the country that you're already in instead of just going back home and going out to the country again. So it was between Uruguay, was another place in Chile. I was at the airport. This guy was talking to me. He was amazed at my black ass. That's how they act in other countries. But he was telling me this other place I should go that he was going to. Can't remember, but it's this beautiful ass like island, I think. And I was even gonna go back to Chile, so I decided to go to Uruguay, how they pronounce it. So I was like, fuck yeah, I booked my flight. I tried my flight at night. I tried to book the B&B. Nothing was working. It was like the day of. I was like, fuck it. I made it happen. So I booked the flight. It finally worked, and then I finally got the B&B too the same day, and I flew the same day. So everybody else was leaving to go back home. It was like real sad. Like oh my god, because that was like the best group of people. That was the best group of individuals I ever like. That was the coolest shit ever. And it was so crazy. It was like it was like straight girls. They were all like bi and trans. Not I'm sorry, they were no trans. Sorry, my bad. Sorry. They were all bi and Leslie's lesbian, and they were just cool as fuck. Just the girls, they was cool as hell. It was nice hanging with them. Some of them ain't identify as the girls, so the guys, they were cool as hell. They were the coolest group of people I've ever been with. It was just so randomly how it ended up being the coolest group of people I've ever been with. Thank y'all for being that trip. So amazing. But everybody left, and I went to Uruguay. Uruguay had the nastiest fucking B&B I've ever been in. And went to go see the Devil's Throat. This waterfall. It's natural, like natural. What they call them? The natural shits. I'm sorry, I'm running out of brain power. Natural habitats or whatever. Sorry, national park. I don't know if they call that out of the country, but I'm pretty sure. But yeah, and they got to see that, experience that, and experience like my first trip alone, and it was just really cool just to have that experience and just kind of explore and finally just go out and adventure, by myself for real. Like even though I've been doing it, it's kind of been with like groups when I kind of still my own adventure, not like my friends or whatnot, but just kind of taking that trip, taking that leap, taking that risk, like fuck it, I'm going and actually following through with it, and that's like I felt like a man. Like I make my own decisions. I'm doing this shit. I make it happen. I fell through with it. Like hell yeah. Like I'm growing up. I ain't a little boy no more. Like I'm doing what I want to do. I'm moving. That's kind of how they felt in that moment. They more so like more than just that, but like more of like I'm capable of doing the things I want. I'm capable of living the life that I dream to live. I deserve to be in this country. I deserve to be traveling. I deserve to be going on these trips. I deserve to be seeing the world around me, and I deserve to be seeing the beauty that God has offered us. And I think it takes a lot of courage. I think it takes being a fucking man to really like step into that. 'Cause a lot of people are afraid too. And I think it's really important that we do it. It's important that we really step into ourselves and step into the world around us and see what the fuck is going on in this world, because all we can see here is this Eurocentric bullshit. All we can see is fucking this work, eat, sleep, just bullshit, you know. And I think it's important to, like, I'm gonna keep saying it, get the fuck out, man. Got that room, got that space, and go live, man. Gotta go live. So I don't know where I'll be going next. I'll be going somewhere else sooner than later, I promise. Until then, though, I have something really special coming. Segment that I want to do. It's getting a little warm outside. This is your hint right there. So yeah, I got something special coming, and I'll be putting out a Google form real soon for individuals that want to get on the pod, because I know people been asking me to get on. And I'll make a little form and to make sure you got your hiking shoes and you're ready for the time. So yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in today. This episode probably was a little everywhere. It's probably how it's gonna keep being. I'm sorry, y'all. This is kind of how my brain is. Kind of how I work. Trying to get more structure, more aligned, you know, more divine in the perfect time. You know, but the time is divine right now. So no divine timing right now. And yeah, I really appreciate y'all tuning in today. To the Selfisinfinite podcast. This is episode 5. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, share. Please try and get the follow count up, the subscriber count up. Trying to get more likes, more views, more love, man. We're trying to build this community up, and we need y'all to do so. So I appreciate y'all tuning in today. Peace.